Okay.
Okay. Alright, we're good.
Yeah. You scared me like almost every single time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another JedBedrock Airsoft video. This was going to be a gameplay video, but I decided to change it. We're up at my outdoor field, local field, not my field. Anyways,
it
we're
just went black.
Teaching how to go around corners, breach walls, stuff like that, and whatnot. So, the common misconception when going up to a corner is that I'll see people, they like to do this, they like to hug it, like really good. Like if there's a guy, like right over there, at the end there, or maybe by that tree, they'll come up to the corner, and they'll just come up here, like go right, like shove themselves up to it, they'll go around, do that. That's just, that person already knows you're there by the time that you get like around here. So you don't have to stick your gun into the corner. The best way to do it is, because he can only see, if he's at the tree, the angle that he can see is only about this much. He can only see about this line here. So if he can only see that, and you stay behind that, he can't see you, and he can't see you till you break that line. And so you want to get up to the wall, and you can go as close to that line as you want, as long as you don't pass it, and you just hug the line. And just hug the line of his vision, so he can't see you, but you don't have to hug the wall. And like, you don't have to be that close. He can't see you. No matter how far away you are, you can be that far away, and he's still not going to see you. Still not going to see you. And then you just peek it. Peek the line of his vision. So that's what I see a lot, where people like hug the wall, make friends with it, love it a little. You don't need to do that. And the same also goes for like clearing corners. If you're right here, that person, depending on where they are, they're looking like right here. The most they can see, if they're sitting in that corner, the most they can see is this line right here. So they can't actually, unless they're like sitting here where the line of vision is right there, they can't actually see you. So you can hug this corner as much as you want, and you're going to get really close to seeing, and you don't want to chicken wing your arm. Like when you're playing Airsoft, you can just keep it in. There's no recoil. So if he's sitting there, his line is right here, you can get as close to you want to that line without actually crossing it. And more than likely, you're going to see a part of him as you close that line. And if he does see you, he's going to see so little of you that when you start shooting, you can just pull back from his line. And it makes it a lot easier to handle the corner when you're actually staying away from their determined line of vision. That's why if you're going to make yourself known, you don't know where they are in there, but you think they're in there, you just creep up on this radius of vision that they could have. Creep on in there, all the way until you're ready to breach the 90-degree angle that you have. So that's about it for the walls, in my experience.
For this section, I'm going to show you how to properly operate one of your pistols. It doesn't matter what kind of pistol you have, whether it be all the way from a Desert Eagle all the way to, I don't know what you could be running. It doesn't matter, but learning how to properly and being able to execute missions and whatever you're wanting to do, like clearing a building like this properly, is a really big deal and really can change your Airsoft gameplay. So for me, whenever I hold my gun, I don't hold it like this. I don't one arm it. I always keep it up like this. This gives you a lot better vantage point. From here, you're having to twist your whole body. From here, you're able to do this a lot quicker and a lot faster.
And you can
more
pivot your
efficient.
hands a bit easier.
Yes. And so, whenever you're going to a building like this, you don't want to go, that's a bad idea. From then on, they're going to see your head and they're going to see your arm before they even, maybe even before they even see the gun. What you want to do is you want to come up and almost peek out forward in a quick motion.
So I'm gonna,
You're able to...
so pretend I'm the dude in here. So I'm gonna have my gun pointed out the doorway, and let's see if he can get me before I get him. So that was actually pretty good. I saw your gun, your head all at once.
Which is what you want to do. You want, because at that point, it doesn't matter whether they see your head or your gun first. You want to be able to see that target, and you want to be able to hit it as fast as you can. Another thing is predicting where your enemy could be hiding. Knowing your field is a big deal.
Like, for instance, at this particular outdoor field, if the camera even sees it, there's this big, really super dark area where there's a hole that you can see out of, and you can peek here. And you can sit here like this. So, knowing that there could be someone over there makes it so that when you breach that door, you're looking here, and you're keeping your eye of vision here for that hole, because odds of someone being right there is going to be very slim. They're going to be behind cover.
Mm-hmm. And also, whenever you're going to breach, I had to learn this the hard way, and it took a little bit of things like this will take practice, but you will get used to it, and it just becomes second nature, where clearing a building becomes no-brainer. When you come from the door, you know there's a corner here, and you know there's right there. The first problem is that hallway in this corner. Whenever you come up to the door, you're going to look in here, and you're going to say, okay, that's fine for now. You're going to come up here, you see that hallway, that's clear, and you come here, that's clear. Now that these two are clear, your last problem is right back here. You're going to peek that hallway, know that that's clear, and you're going to come up here. And you're going to peek, and you always want to keep the gun at an angle, that way it's easier, you have a better angle on your enemy around a corner than they do. If you keep it like this, it's going to be a lot harder for you to peek around that corner and go like this. Whereas if you go sideways, you have a much better angle. And so, once you learn how to properly do that, you can clear a building by yourself and have no issue.
So in this part, we're going to talk about choosing your cover. Here, we're in like a trailer mobile home thing. And this is an interesting place, and this is why I chose it. Here, you have a hallway down that way with the stairs that enter the building. You have a door here. This does have glass in it, so you don't have to worry about that. But this has a door here. And then all of these windows here are gone, except that one. But all of them are gone. So you can have fire from here, you get shot through there, you have that window, that window's too high, and then you have the door. So when holding down a location, you want to choose your cover wisely, because you don't want to be somewhere, especially when you have multiple people covering a room. I've seen this a lot, indoor and outdoor, where you'll have one person like, all right, I'm watching this, and then they get shot from there through that window because someone came up there and their buddy didn't see them or didn't shoot them, or their buddy, I've seen this too, they're just sitting here, was looking through the window, and they're not actually shooting, they're just sitting there watching, and it's like, guys, did you realize there's someone over there?
I'm guilty of this too. I'm guilty of this.
I think that might be a concern. So,
I'm the kind of guy that's just sitting in the back and drinking a tea. Hey, there's a guy over there.
And then one time, like, it's like, we had a guy watching this window, he was watching a guy watching that window, and the enemy shoots us in the back from those two windows. Or of course, you also have a guy watching this side.
But he gets shot from the window, this side, and those.
Or all those windows, yeah. So, starting here, you don't have to hug the wall. You don't have to love it, pet it, it's not your boyfriend. So, you don't have to love the wall. You can just sit back, because this goes back to our angle of sight. When that person peeks in, their best angle is going to be like right here. So, they're not going to see anyone. And actually, I think the angle of entrance. Yes, I was right. So, they can't see the end of that counter where that M4 is. They can't see the end of that. So, if you're right here and they come up the thing, they can't see you right here. And you're going to be standing all the way back. And when you hear them, you can just shoot. Make sure to keep your feet tucked in, because I made that mistake before, where it's like this, and then shoot your foot. So make sure, like sometimes I'll catch myself like leaning over to make a shot. So just make sure you keep your feet tucked in, or else they're going to shoot that. And make sure to listen for them coming up there. And always be wary, like always watch your surroundings. Now, a good way that I do this is that I don't actually close an eye when I look into the scope. I keep both eyes open. Otherwise, you end up chasing the dot. And that can cause a lot of problems if you're chasing the dot with one eye, because then you just don't see anything else happening. It's like when I'm like chasing the dot, I can't see my other surroundings. So it's always important to try to keep both eyes open. It'll take practice. But in doing that, because in Airsoft you can actually see the BBs, when you keep both eyes open, you don't have to chase the dot as much. The dot is more of a general idea of where your BBs are going, unless you have a super accurate gun. But if you're just running a stock weapon like this, you don't want to chase the dot, because it's not always completely accurate. So make sure to cover this. Keep an eye out for that. So honestly, probably the best way to cover that entrance and watch these windows while being semi-protected over here, because that guy over there can only see till about right here on the table. You can easily be back here and shoot out. You can easily shoot from there all the way over here, where your respawn's right there. You can see that window, and no one can get you from coming around the side of the thing. You're gonna see, if you don't close your eyes when you're aiming down sights, you can see that window. So no one can come around there and get you. You're not susceptible to someone opening the door. Like, for instance, this door here leads out here. And you can see the problem that if I slightly bump the door open, I can shoot that corner. So if you have two people coordinating, one in that window and one through the door, then if you guard that stairway here, that person's going to open the door, you're not going to be there, you're going to be safe. That person over there is going to be consumed with you firing at them. And the person over here is going to be more exposed coming around, because you're probably going to see their shadow and stuff coming around here, because those windows are too high. And so you can keep yourself pretty well protected by just sitting right here and being vigilant with your eyesight and your view. So, and then, for instance, if you put a buddy right here, then they can see that out there and this view. So they can cover the 3 to 4 windows that are over there. And if they start taking fire, they can hug the wall and the corner. And I think, yeah, the windows can't shoot them because of the angle of sight. But they also see all of this. So smart positioning is really important, and not getting hit, but also having angles on people. I also found this cubby right here is good for watching someone who's committed and coming down that hall, and you can't be shot from here. So you can just sit here. You'll know if someone comes to the door, you'll see them to the window, and you'll see them coming down the hall, and you're relatively all protected unless they hit you coming down the hall. So positioning is really important when you're especially trying to guard something at a location. Just make sure all your bases are covered. Alright, so another thing is shadows, and I use this so many times to get so many people. This even works on indoor, mostly on indoor actually is where this is good.
I've gotten so many kills.
Shadows. So most all players do not care about their shadows at all, but it means so much because later in the day the sunlight is coming in this building from over there. Anyone walking in this building is going to make a slight shadow that may or may not be visible on camera. And when they walk in, anyone in this room, especially over here, if they're looking down through this hole, they can't see the person. The person can't see them, but they see the person's shadow. They are ready for that person to come into view because they saw their shadow. They're going to know when to fire, and they're going to know there's a person coming. Whereas the other person walking through the door is going to clear the room normally, and this is usually when I catch them. They clear the room, look that way, and you can see their shadow. You know exactly where they are from over there, and then you just pop out and shoot them. Or even, I've had this where even when they charge you, you can tell how close they are depending on where their shadow is. And if you're sitting all the way back here in this dark spot, when their shadow hits that wall, you're already going to start firing. And they're not going to know you were there. So shadows are very important. You can wait on people, you can expect people, and you can surprise people with just your shadows alone.
Staying vigilant is very important. It's very easy to be out on the field. You know, you just ran 200, 300 feet all the way from your respawn. You've done this 5 times. You finally get inside. You're winded. You're kind of tired, but you have to stay in the game. You know that your team is depending on you. You really want to win this game, but you fall victim to just you start here. You're watching that corner, you're like, okay, I got this. You realize after about 10 seconds, nothing's happening, and you slowly, you drop your gun, you start leaning on the wall, you might rub it just a little, you might maybe even kiss it, depending on who you are, and then you just start looking around, just kind of chill. You don't want to do that, because one, that makes it real easy for someone who is in the game. They can catch you off guard. They're ready to go. They're ready to easily just bam, you're done. You want to stay vigilant. You want to keep your head in the game, and something that you can even do is staying on the move. Guarding a position, depending on what game mode you're doing, guarding a position may be nice, but even guarding a position and staying on the move is an even better idea, because that one keeps your brain active and that stops you from possibly getting lazy. And another thing is you want to stay vigilant, and you want to listen. You want to listen and you want to pay attention. Whenever I aim down my sights, he said this earlier, I don't close my eyes. I keep both of them open. One, it makes it easier for you to aim. Instead of having the one eye, keeping both eyes, it actually allows you to see a lot more. If I close my eye, I can't see this wall. I can't see this at all. But if with my eye open, I can see all the way to the fire extinguisher. That allows you to have a much wider field of view of what you're aiming at and what's going on, especially from a window, like here, if you're aiming this way, you have your crosshair looking this way, and you're aiming down with one eye. I can't see past this tree. Past that tree, I can't see anything. But if I keep both my eyes, I can see all the way over there. I can see almost all the way to where where the pieces of plywood are. All the way over there. So it allows you to see a lot more, and you're able to see targets moving. You're able to get a better field of view of what's going on. You're able to react better to different things going on. And then another thing is also listening. One thing I see sometimes, especially at certain at indoor fields, where people are guarding, but they're not listening. They're not listening at all to feet, the pitter-patter of feet moving. They're not listening. They're chatting it up with the guy next to them, which isn't a bad thing, but if you want to win the game, you gotta stay vigilant.
I was at Milsim, and I was coming up on a bunker. There were 3 guys in there, and they were talking with each other, and they were being so loud that I tripped on a piece of styrofoam and some leaves like 20 feet away, and they had no clue I was there after I'd made all of the noise, and I shot them all.
And stuff like that happens. Another thing is also being aware of yourself. Whereas you want them to make the mistake of being loud and you catching them, but you don't want to get caught. Whenever I step, I don't step on my foot. I don't step on my foot like that. Instead, you want to walk and press your foot down like this. Whenever you
rolling off of your heels, even going like sideways, can quiet it down. Obviously, if there's leaves or something, that can make noise, but when you're going on a concrete surface, like kind of like slapping your feet like normal walking is not the way to do it. Sometimes.
I'm going to give an example of walking in as someone who is just stomping with their foot, and you'll notice how much of a difference it really makes. Someone all the way over there could probably hear me.
And see your shadow.
And see the shadow. Whereas this changes the game.
That's pretty quiet.
While it is still very audible, it is a lot quieter.
This is also really quiet. My boots are a bit softer padded than his.
That was really quiet.
Yeah, so just like having the boots, I prefer walking sideways because it's easier to roll your foot on your bottom of your boot. I've had a lot of people where they didn't even know I was there.
Mm-hmm.
There was one guy, opened up a door, I was just sitting there. Sometimes waiting for your opponent to make the move, especially if you snuck your way in the position, you sneak your way there, don't kiss the wall, back up, so your gun's not going to show. Because it doesn't matter. If you're here, here, or here, you can only shoot the same angle.
Mm-hmm. Like right here.
Hello, what's up?